Hi everyone, this is Candy Johnson. I am your host. This is Real Talk, brought to you by Real Raw Records. Today's topic is, where are the know-it-alls? Okay, we want to know, where are the know-it-alls? Generally, when this statement is used, know-it-all, people are usually saying it to be sarcastic and insulting of someone who seem to have the answers to everything. And I don't understand myself why or how and at what point in our society did knowing things become an insult. Okay, but that's the way it is. All right. Now, I don't think people give things much thought before they say them or before they incorporate certain sayings or wordings in their conversation. And what I mean by incorporate things into their conversation, for example, people have used the word know-it-all and are using that as a derogatory term. Now, if they were using that term in a derogatory manner and they were referring to someone who is just a pretend person pretending like they know what they're talking about, and I have come across a lot of those type of people online here. Generally, they are very unknowledgeable people. But the problem I'm having with the term know-it-all being used towards a person that's knowledgeable is that, is it supposed to be a good thing to be dumb? You know, I don't understand that. Is it supposed to be a bad thing to know things, to be wise? Back in the day, way back, during the day when we looked up to people who were wise, and we looked at them for guidance, and we looked to them to know it all. And if they didn't know it all, it was a certain level of disappointment that they were greeted with when they didn't know everything. Especially if they were a person, a go-to person for knowledge. Okay. Now, people will use the term know-it-all because they feel inadequate, is what I've found with the use of that term in a insulting manner, usually used by people who feel inadequate in some type of way. All right. And instead of them giving a person their props, as we say in the Black culture, or instead of giving that person their just due credit for having a variety of knowledge or wisdom, or having being intellectually competent, people will try to talk down upon another person, and it's usually, like I said, due to their inadequacy, okay, or shortcomings. They feeling insecure and things of that nature. And to the point where it's become a common thing to be a hater. Okay, Now we've all, not all of us, but because I am speaking to an audience and a mixture of people from different countries and cultures. But in the United States, um, uh, we are familiar with the term haters, all right? And that term has been used very widely to describe people who are not complimentary to a person's character or their um, shortcomings or whatever, or their accomplishments even. So we call that a hater. But even that term has been abused to the point where if you tell somebody the truth and be honest with them about your opinion, or be honest with them and speak the truth to them about them perhaps doing something wrong, saying something wrong, or inappropriate behavior, then people will say, oh, you're just a hater. Well, what am I supposed to be hating on here? Like, hater was supposed to be used for a person that's actually doing something commendable, and then someone being jealous or hateful towards their accomplishments. So all of these terms are just being used and abused, like the words love, faith. We've discussed that in previous broadcasts, how people just abuse terms, okay, and just abuse. This is word abuse. Who's gonna start a civil rights movement to take up for the rights of words, you know, and to vindicate the abuse of words and phrases? Know-it-all is one of those terms that have been completely and totally abused. Most of the time when you come across a very arrogant person, they are usually, from what I've seen, this my sister is very arrogant, and I have her in mind when I say this. My older sister, she's very arrogant, but I'm using that as an example or a go-to sort of in my psyche when I speak of a know-it-all, because she don't know very much. She don't know very much, but she likes to give off this air, you know, which is attributed to the arrogance. She likes to give off this air that she knows, but she don't, okay? So when I think of a know-it-all in an insulting or derogatory manner, I'll think of a person like that only thinks that they know, or I don't even think she thinks she know. I think she knows that she doesn't know. Or a person that's insecure and trying to give off an air or make other people think that they know what they're talking about. So that would be the only time that I would consider a know-it-all as being a derogatory term. But in any case, I would term to describe that type of person, because I clearly see it as arrogance, a person that really doesn't know. Okay, so I would never use the term know-it-all, because I know that they don't know it all. Okay, I guess that would be a term used as an insult between two arrogant ass people, you know, trying to out-know each other. Neither one of them don't know shit, all right? They both insecure, and neither one of them don't know shit. For me, I love know-it-alls. I own a record label, okay? And a big part of our record label is to What we do is inform artists of the business of marketing talents and intellectual property. So since a big portion of the success of our business is dependent upon people knowing what the hell is going on, knowing their craft or knowing shit, we need all the know-it-alls we can get. And so I am on a mad hunt for some know-it-alls, people that know their shit. And I don't know about you, but when I worked on jobs in times past, I don't like to be on a job and not be knowledgeable of at least what I am required to know, or, you know, I should know about my particular job and job duties. But I'm kind of old school person where I believe in going the extra mile and going above and beyond. So I never settled for just knowing my job. I would know your job and this person's job and the whole company. If I'm there long enough, I will know everything about the company. Because I would consistently be teaching myself or trying to learn more about what the company entails or what my job entailed and things of that nature. All right, the laws concerning it, everything. I always wanted to be very knowledgeable about anything that I was dealing with. Okay. I guess because I have more of an entrepreneurial nature about me. But in any case, me knowing things always came in handy. And it was so funny, even on in the positions where I was just a worker and I wasn't a supervisor, because sometimes I was supervisor and sometimes I wasn't. But even cases where I would come across circumstances and I knew things, and I would be there to answer questions and things of that nature, and you know, I'd be on it. People thought that I was the supervisor or the management because I was so knowledgeable of the company or of other people's positions and stuff like that. So I said that to say, it can only make you look good to be a know-it-all. It can only be beneficial to you and others to be a know-it-all, so to speak, because that knowledge is useful and can be useful at some point. Okay. I didn't have to go and get management or go and retrieve someone to help a customer simply because I was knowledgeable myself of how to take care of the situation, what have you. All right. So I'm on a mad hunt for know-it-alls. I was born mentally retarded, so I am very aware that people that seem dumb or seem like they don't know nothing sometimes can have within them a hidden knowledge that is so awesome, to the point that it moves from the arena of being knowledge to being wisdom. All right. And people that seek out knowledge but have no wisdom, they just know a bunch of things and they're useless for application, meaning they know a whole bunch of things, but they ain't doing nothing with the knowledge. I'm not interested. I'm not interested. I love wisdom. Wisdom is applicable knowledge, okay? It's knowledge guided by understanding, okay? So sometimes I will come across people that are very knowledgeable about things, but they have no clue of how to make use of that information. These people that call themselves or consider themselves intelligent, is, to me, it's not very intellectual or very wise to obtain information and just have a lot of information that's of no use, that's of no practical use. All right. So I'm looking for the know-it-alls. Not very many people would probably be interested in know-it-alls. And that's because people have gotten a negative mindset about what a know-it-all is. But I'm gonna give you all something to jack your brain around a little bit today, all right? Something, just another little something to think about. Do y'all remember that game that, I don't know if they still have it on air, but it used to be a game on television. I think it was called, Do You Want to Be a Millionaire? All right. Well, on that show, I'll say, now I could be mistaken, but just get the point of the message I'm trying to get across to you. On that game, they had, you could have a lifeline, you can phone a friend, and you had these options of referring to someone else to help you with the answer so that you could either go to the next level or win. All right. So people would rely as much as they can upon their own knowledge. But those lifelines were, what do I call that? The lifelines is what would really get them the big money, all right? Or the closest that they could get to that $1 million. Now, if you had an option to call somebody and phone a friend to help you, and you was right there at the point in the game where you was going to win hundreds of thousands of dollars or either $1 million, would you want to call your best friend that tell you all the good, beautiful things that you want to hear and tell you you're so perfect and you're so wonderful and you're so awesome and you rock? Or would you want to call that person that you can't stand, that you insult on a consistent basis and call them know-it-alls? Would you want to call that know-it-all who you know might know that answer? Get out a little thought, but when you're doing it, keep it real or take your ass back to Fantasyland, because know-it-alls are worth a lot of money. You just didn't think it of that way. And if you didn't think of it that way, it's because you don't know nothing.